I am so glad you are here. Says Liz, Megas Books and Herbs. It's Energy Sunday in my world, so let's talk Reiki a little. Where did this whole set of ideas come from? Well, you might not know this, but I am an Usui Reiki master teacher, and Usui, Mikao Usui, is where all of this comes from. He is the granddaddy of all Reiki. I may have butchered Mikao Usui, and I apologize if I did. Sorry, Aunt Kazumi, if that's the case. But yes, that's my Aunt Kazumi. And hi for those folks. But Mikao Usui was a wealthier, more privileged member of Japanese society when he was alive. And this was in a time, in case you don't know, when Japan was completely shut off from the world, more or less. If you lived in Japan, you were not getting out of Japan. If you did not live in Japan, you were not welcome on their shores, period, end of discussion. Except for a little bit of diplomacy. Japan would send envoys out to other countries to see what was going on, see how they might benefit from exchanges with those societies if they chose to. So it was isolation, but not stupidity, basically. They were aware other people would have brilliant ideas. They were aware that there could be inventions that they might want to replicate or bring into the country, even if only in a limited fashion. So they did send out some envoys. And Mikao Usui was among the people who got to leave the country. And I bring this up because I think it's interesting, because he did something, and I don't know if it's synchronistic, just pure coincidence, or if it's because he was exposed to European ideas at this time. And it would have been the European ideas of the wealthier Europeans. Just like him, he would have been dealing with people in his class for the most part. So upper echelon of society type folks. And in the era we're talking about, it was pretty common, if you were into spirituality of any kind, that you, because you had nannies and servants and all of these luxuries of life, you would socialize every evening. In fact, it could be considered part of your job. So you would go to perhaps the Theosophical Society, if that was up and running at that time, on a Tuesday night for a lecture, or you might go to the Masons, which was a really popular organization for men in that era, co-Masons, all of those kinds of things. So you really might have a spiritual exercise that you did, event that you went to, or something linked to something spiritual 5-6 days a week. You'd go to church on Sunday, but maybe Monday was spent at the Mason Lodge, at the Masonic Lodge. And Mikao Usui's lifestyle appears to have slotted in really well with that. Hi, by the way. So if it seems like Reiki isn't tied to any particular group or religion, it's because it's not. It's tied to all of the influences that he found in his spiritual explorations. This means it thought local Japanese animism, formal religions, everything he could get his hands on. And he spent decades doing this. So decades of doing this, and then he goes up and meditates. He's going to take an extended vacation, and he goes, meditates. Lo and behold, after decades of study, inspiration comes to him, and he invents this healing system, this energy healing system called Reiki. And he tries it on himself, and then he tries it on his family, and then his friends. Keep in mind, he's a rich dude. His friends are also wealthy, influential members of society. And that's how it spreads. It doesn't spread from the bottom up. This isn't a practice like of the common people. It spreads top down in this case. So it's an interesting set of circumstances under which Mikao Usui developed the inspiration that came to him when he hiked up the mountain and meditated on the hill that people talk about. But it didn't come until decades of study had been undertaken. I think that's an important factor too. So if you're looking for that kind of inspiration, if you're looking to get that zot from on high, study the spiritualities you enjoy. Dive into them deeply. Know them intimately on an intellectual level, on an emotional level, on a spiritual level. then climb that mountain and see what comes to you. This is Liz at Megas Books and Herbs. I hope you all have a wonderful week, a wonderful life. Keep that energy positive and flowing. And on behalf of myself and the rest of the staff here at Megas Books and Herbs, thank you for doing all the things you can do, like watching. I see you out there, and subscribing and liking and sharing and all that fabulous stuff, because we love it. We love you too. We look forward to seeing you here at 2520 Central Avenue Northeast in Minneapolis, Minnesota, or online at magusbooks.com, magusbooks.com. Blessed be.